Hi, Dan!
Hello, mate.
Ew.
I'm all right, you know. I'm all right. I've recently trapped a nerve in my neck, which hurts so much physically, but because I know it's a relatively harmless thing to get, I felt amazing, weirdly amazing to have some sort of light physical pain to distract me from my variable emotional state. I've been very up and down. How are you?
Yeah, it's mad that it's got to that point, though, that you're happy that you're in pain.
Yeah.
To distract from
really
what's
worked.
happening.
I mean, I wouldn't have chosen that, you know, if someone had said, is there another way where you could find yourself less crying all the time and fragile and moody? I wouldn't have gone, oh, my favourite way to sort that out would be to get such a searing, but, you know, inconsequential physical ailment that I'm distracted from it. But it's really snapped me out of it because I'm better now. Look, I was
going to say, you're going to be all right. You're going to be all right to do some baking. Look at that. Look at that movement.
I can feel that now, but this side, up until recently, that was it. That was all I had.
Oh, God.
And now I can do this. Oh,
steady!
Yeah, boy. Yeah.
Well, don't injure yourself in what we're doing today. I don't want to cause any more pain for you.
No, thank you.
How are you coping with lockdown?
Okay, there's a lot of stuff in my situation that I am mad privileged to have. Like, I have a garden, and my ex and I co-parent our kid, and he lives on the same road. So I think if I'd been isolating just me, single parenting a 4-year-old, I would be struggling, I think. With no respite from that. Also because I am working, and the people out there who are working whilst parenting full-time on their own, so many people are juggling parenthood, actual job, with a whole new tech setup, and then a whole third job of emotionally managing living through something this catastrophic.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I wake up every day and for a few minutes I'm like, and then I'm like, and it just, and all these emotions just come over you. And I think, are you finding, because Rudy's 4, isn't he?
Yeah.
Dead, yeah, and Nora's 4 as well. Are you finding he's struggling with it emotionally?
Well, in the way that he shows it. I mean, there's not been, it's settled. It's one of those things where I kept going, I think it's settled down, and then we'd have a terrible day. I think it's settled down, and then we'd have a terrible day. It started with violence, like back to 2-year-old level, massive, really hurting me violence. And then it's just been the sort of behaviour you'd get when he's going through a leap or whatever. You know how they go through phases where they just will do the opposite of anything you ask.
Yeah, they're completely nuts. Yeah.
So, but what about Laura? Has she been a pickle as well, or has she been scammed?
Do you know what? Overall, she's been really just very good about it all. But then every now and again, she'll just have this like emotional breakdown. And I think a bit like we're all feeling. And she'll just like, no, I don't want to do anything. I want to be miserable and sit in the corner, and I hate you all. I don't want to talk to Nana on Skype, and
I mean, I think getting 2, 3, 4, up to 7-year-olds to have conversations on Skype or Zoom or whatever is so hard. They're not interested. Rudy basically, he behaves as if he's trying to talk to me and I'm just like looking at my phone, even though it's often on a mat. For him, it's just the ultimate in you're not giving me enough attention. He behaves his absolute worst. So it means whoever you're having a conversation with down the line gets to see your parenting at its most stretched. And the other day, my mum, bless her, was like, perhaps I could read him a story. And she did, and it all went fine, but like she dressed up for it and got all toys out and stuff. And it got to the point where he was like, I don't care about dogs. And I was like, Rudy, listen to me. If you sit there and you listen to that story, you can have some banana cake and some crisps. And he was like, okay, can I dress as Batman? Yes. And he was so good, and he listened to Nana's whole story, and it all went brilliantly. And as she got to like the last page, he went, "Get my crisps now!" Arsehole.
Oh, brilliant. I mean, I think bribery is an essential parenting tool at any time, but at the moment, it's pretty much everything. Literally
it's what
everything.
Child psychologists say, isn't it? I think it's what all the child psychologists say. bribery is everything.
Yeah, it really, yeah, that's definitely number one parenting tip on all the really good parenting websites. Some crisps. So I asked you what you wanted me to show you, baking-wise, and you said some fancy pastry.
Yeah, I want to teach me some fancy shit.
Yeah, I'm going to teach you some fancy shit. So I'm going to teach you how to make choux pastry.
I don't even know what it is. I was like, oh, you told me we were going to do this, and I was like, before I log in to the call, I must Google it. I've watched every series of Bake Off as well, Briony, and I just can't remember what it is. Is it balls?
Yes, very good. It's like Profiteroles and eclairs. It's that pastry, that kind of like puffed up loveliness.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So
what will they look like at the end? Like round?
Like little, like little profiteroles.
Right.
Profiteroles.
And then do you mean to poke something up in them?
Yeah. So you can poke like whipped cream. You can put some buttercream in there, some ganache, like whatever you can get your hands on at the moment, to be honest.
Okay. And I've checked that there wasn't anything in the oven to stop burning and smoking. I made something recently, and then I was like, what is that? The neighbour's having a bonfire again, and there was a week-old Yorkshire pudding down the back.
Yummy. I had a week on Bake Off where I think it was patisserie week actually, and I went to open the oven after I turned it on, and literally the most amount of smoke I've ever seen in my life come out of an oven literally just engulfed me. And I was like, what is going on? So I ended up having to use the oven on the bench behind me. So I was like, got something ready that I'd have to go round, put it in that oven, then come back round. I blame that for the reason I went home. It was nothing to do with my skills whatsoever.
That's the spirit.
You need 250 ml of water and 100 grams of butter. Look at that. Look how prepared you are.
I haven't weighed my butter.
That's all right.
I'll do that now.
But you do a podcast about food, don't you?
About eating, yeah.
About eating, yeah. What's it called?
Yeah. Hoovering.
The Hoovering Podcast.
Yeah. Do you say that, Grizzle, to hoover something up? As in
Oh yeah, definitely.
Good.
Is this working?
Oh, fine. Do you know what I've just done? I've like chopped up all the bits left of this packet of butter, and it turns out, I swear to God, that all the bits, had I not bothered with that, has come to a perfect 100 grams.
Wow, look at that.
It's
that is beautiful.
But also very annoying. What a waste of time.
But you made a beautiful little butter statue, so I think,
yes,
that's fun.
That's butter. In terms of hob ferocity.
Yeah, go kind of medium. Go medium. You want to basically, you're melting the butter in the water until all the butter's melted and it's sort of just starting to boil. And then whilst you've got that on the hob, if you weigh out 150 grams of plain flour.
Yeah.
A teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of sugar.
Gosh, okay.
So when I made choux pastry in the patisserie challenge in week 9, when I ended up going home, I didn't put any sugar in my choux. I actually put like 3 tablespoons of salt instead. I
would have loved that.
Which is why when Paul bit into it, it was like, blah, 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 blah.
I've got the new Serious Black Jumper on.
Oh.
Show it off. It's Jade Adams has got a brilliant show called Serious Black Jumper, and so I bought some of her merch.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Right, 1 teaspoon of salt done, 1 teaspoon of sugar.
Lovely jubbly. Because we came to see your tour in Bristol, and it is so good. You're so lovely. Funny.
You are lovely.
Oh, no, but it's true, though. It's brilliant. So when it does come back, people should definitely go and see it. And what's the tour called?
Hench. The show's called Hench. Yeah. Do I stir this butter and water?
Yeah, give it a little stir. Yeah, how's it looking? Is it melting all right?
Yeah. It looks like butter and water, Briony.
That's right then, Jess. You've got it right. You're nailing it. Absolutely nailing it.
It's foaming slightly.
It's foaming slightly. That's fine. Has the butter melted?
There's still 2 visible islands of yellow.
Amazing. I love it. It's so descriptive. Basically, you want it to look like that. Can you see?
Oh, right. Yeah. No.
And just kind of bubbling around the edges.
Okay.
Bubble. And then once that's bubbling around the edges, we're going to whack all the flour in one go with the salt and sugar in it as well. And then you're going to stir furiously, okay?
Oh, yes. Okay.
Whilst keeping it on the heat.
I like doing anything furiously.
Really want to put
on the edges, it's all gone yellow.
Oh, lovely. Okay, and it's bubbling around the edges. Fantastic. Right, okay, so just get your bowl of flour. Yeah. And then literally whack it in and start mixing furiously.
Keeping the heat on, yeah?
Keep the heat on, yeah. And what will happen is you'll get it will start to look like mashed potato, hopefully.
Okay.
Just keep mixing it until you get a good solid ball.
Yeah.
And then take it off the heat. It should look like that.
Okay, it's still in a few parts.
Okay, keep giving it a good mix.
Like that.
Lovely jubbly, yeah. So give it a good mix round. And then we're just going to leave that just for a few seconds, just to cool, and then we're going to add the eggs. So if you break up your eggs into some kind of container, and then give them a good whisk up, just so they're all nice and together.
My eggs were definitely off the back of a lorry.
Black market eggs.
Yeah, they've not been any in any supermarkets, but no, I mean, I've been really trying not to go very much, but I had to go to Poundland and the shop at the end of the road anyway for the ibuprofen and stuff, and they've got loads. They're squirreled right up the back of the shop as well, all in sort of. So they're slightly dodgy packaging, and they've got some even dodgier ones that are just sort of in trays that they've cut into sixes.
You have to go through some curtains at the back.
Yeah, they've got like mud and chicken poo on. So they are, but I mean, part of me's like, did they come from a chicken? And then another part of me is thinking, well, I think they've been rustling. I think they found an actual chicken factory, chicken laying factory, and they've gone rustling in the night, egg rustling.
I'm loving the way you're breaking your egg, by the way. It's very ninja. Did your nan teach you how to do that as well? I love it.
No, my nan didn't. Do you do it that really fancy chefy way where you just sort of do it in your hands?
No, I'm so rubbish at that. If I try and do that, I end up just crushing it all in my hand. And
yes,
it's
ogre. I can't do that.
I've got a trick though. A little tip is that if you break it on a flat surface, so rather than breaking it on the edge of like a rim of a bowl, if you kind of tap it on a flat surface and then break it in, you don't get any eggshell in it.
I'm trying that. I wish I'd tried that just now. I've done it now.
So you gutted that Edinburgh's been cancelled? Edinburgh Fringe?
I think it's, it's a really interesting one. It's very hard to give the correct diplomatic answer to that, Briony.
Well, okay, I'll give you my answer. I'm upset that you...
Yeah, I am. I'm upset because, at that point, before the world stops in its tracks, but at that point I was meant to have finished my tour of Hench, seen it off with a great big London special, hopefully maybe even filmed it, and I was going to be doing a work in progress for the first fortnight of Edinburgh. And so actually it would have been a really good, useful working time. I'd have been able to see other shows. It was in Edinburgh that, unlike, I was really looking forward to. And I loved the venue. I'd be going back to the Monkey Bar in a slightly bigger room. I was looking forward to it in so many ways. But it was becoming unconscionable that they hadn't cancelled it in light of everything that's going on. So I think when you've got... I personally think the comedians who live for it and who love it and it's there all year round and they can't imagine anywhere they'd rather be are slightly sociopathic.
That's the politically correct answer, yeah?
You made me. You were like... Yeah, you did. It's like Newsnight, this.
So, right, now this is the point where things can go wrong.
Right.
Because basically people add all their eggs in one go, and basically that you don't always have to add all of the eggs because it depends on how much moisture's in the air, it depends on temperature, it's all this different kind of stuff that, if you add too much, it can go a bit sloppy.
Okay.
So if you basically add half of your egg into your mix.
Right.
And then give it a really good mix round. It will look like it's not coming together, and then it will. And this bit's really good for the guns. This is where you get your arm workout in.
Right, great. Arm stuff later.
Get it? It'll start to look like this. It's never coming together, but it will. Just keep going. And the reason you have to leave it for a few minutes before you put the eggs in is because you don't want it to cook the eggs.
Yes,
You've got to get properly, this is again, furious. Get furious with your... And then
it's the perfect thing to teach me. It's also angry.
And then you end up again with, it looks like mashed potato. It looks like that. And that's still a bit stiff because it's all just coming off in one big loop. Okay. So I'm gonna add a little bit more egg. Again, don't add it all. And then again, furiously mix. So there's a few tricks to see if it's ready. So you get a little bit between your thumb and your finger and you lift it up like that. Ooh. And can you see that top bit's fallen over? Oh. I'll do it again, hang on. Can you see the little, the bit on my thumb?
Yeah.
You can't see it very well, sorry.
Okay, that's it.
So you kind of, just get a little bit between your fingers and just lift it up, and then if the top starts coming back down, then you're on the right track.
Okay.
And also the other way of checking it is if you get some on your spoon and then bang it on the side. You want like a V shape here. So I think mine maybe needs a tiniest little bit more. That kind of. I think that's probably still a bit thick, I reckon. Yeah, bit more egg. So have you managed to find flour, or did you have some in your cupboard?
I'm still on the flour I had in my cupboards, but I'm down to this. Crumbs now.
Can't find any anywhere.
I found, I don't know what it's like there in London. I'm in South East London, and we've got lots of little Turkish supermarkets, and I'll show you it. It doesn't. Basically, you'd have no way of knowing unless you spoke Turkish that's plain flour. But, on the label, it just said plain flour, like on the price tag. So I was like, I'll risk it.
Amazing. Well, that's such a good little trick. So little Turkish shops in London. You can find some flour. Yeah, I've heard a rumour that one of the news agents near me has got a little stash.
Yeah.
Some
places, that you have to ask behind the counter. Like in pharmacies, you have to ask behind the counter for some paracetamol. And I wonder whether actually in the more off-licensey type little supermarkets, you just have to say, got me flour and eggs, mate.
Yeah. Have you got any white powder? Yeah, so basically you want to if you get some on the spoon, then gently sort of tap it off, and you should have like a V like that.
Mine's still thick.
Maybe the water in your air isn't. Oh, there you go. That looks pretty V-like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hang on. Tap it again. There you go. Look at that. Perfectly. Lovely jubbly.
Oh yeah, V-time. Oh, can I try the finger thing?
Oh yeah. So just a bit.
She's perfect. Oh, droopy lady.
Droopy. Get that. There you go.
Oh, droopy lady.
Yeah. Boom.
Yeah.
I learned that from Stephen on the Bake Off the year before me.
Cool.
I've always stuck with it. Right, we're going to put it into our piping bag now. We're nearly at the point of going in the oven. This is very exciting.
Okay. Oh.
Got your Poundland piping bags?
Poundland, 20 piping bags for £1.
Bargain.
3 packets of ibuprofen for £1. 4 little tins of sweet corn for £1.
That's £20.
Yeah. So, I suppose you don't cut the bum off it yet.
No, don't cut the bum off yet. Just and also, if you've got a pint glass, this is quite a good way of putting it in. Get a pint or some kind of vessel.
I tell you what, I've got a pint glass here from the McCunliffe Comedy Festival in Wales, one of the best comedy festivals in the world, if not the best. Let's give that a little plug.
I love that. I like that a lot. I've never heard of that one.
I struggle saying the place name. McCunliffe. Yeah, it's a real place, Briony. Don't look at me like that.
So yeah, like that. So with the top, that's it, perfect. And then whack some of your choux pastry in. You probably won't be able to fit it all in. You don't want to fill up your piping bag, but put a good sort of, that's it, lovely.
I want to get it all in there. What else are you going to do with this?
Well, yeah, you just might need to use 2 piping bags, maybe.
See, well, that's fine. I've got another 19.
You've got another 19 to go. Because you're not just a stand-up comedian, are you? You're an actor as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all on hold, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, yeah, I'm in a thing on that's on ITV Hub at the moment called The Trouble with Maggie Cole, playing an absolute monster.
Are you?
Yeah, really nasty, gossipy woman. Really fun it was.
I was going to say, is it quite fun playing mean people?
Well, she's not just, do you know what? She's more, I don't know what the correct way of putting it is. Not clever. She's more not clever than mean. But she's not completely one. She's just, hapless and sort of savagely unintelligent. You just was watching. It's got Dawn in.
Dawn. Was she fun to work with?
Oh yeah, I was so starstruck that I in an attempt to not be kind of too fawning, I was accidentally just very rude. First few times I met her, but by the end of it, I was getting a cuddle off her. So. Oh.
Yeah. I didn't know how to behave, so I was just rude.
Well, I went for don't tell her how great she is. Don't be embarrassing. There was one, so I just ended up being a bit aloof, a bit like.
I don't know. I'm terrible when I meet people, like, especially when I meet former Bake Off people. I turn into a complete fangirl.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare. Like, I met Selassie, and he's always been my Bake Off crush, you know?
Yeah.
And I met him, and I was like, oh,
hi. He must be so used to that.
I know, I'm pretty sure
relationship status is, but I imagine he's found prolific love making not hard at all off the back of that. So it was widely acknowledged that he was very attractive. So that the diameter of the pipe hole is 1 centimetre.
That one. Maybe 1.5 centimetres. So yeah, you want the pipe hole to be about 1.5 centimetres in diameter. Lovely.
Gosh.
Right,
I've got it's going to start going tits up for me, Briony.
I'm excited. It's going to be great. You've done so well so far. Right. So what you want to do is on the corners of your baking tray, you want to pipe a little bit of pastry to hold down the paper.
Cool.
So because it's quite light in the thingy, you don't want it to go blowing up everywhere.
I'm definitely going to do this again if mine don't turn out. If mine turn out edible,
that'd be amazing. Because there's so few ingredients in it, and if you just whip up a bit of cream, it's fab.
Okay, I've done the corners.
Fabulous. So what you're going to do is you're going to turn your piping bag up so it's not diagonal. That's not the right word. Vertical is the word I'm looking for. And you're going to pipe these. You can do little circles to make sure they're all the same size. But I just tend to count, so I'll literally squeeze it out and go 1, 2, 3, and then up. And it will look like a little hat. So 1, 2, 3, up. 1, 2, 3, up.
1, 2, 3, up.
Lovely.
Oh!
Don't worry, we can use some water to fix it, don't worry.
That looks rude. They're giving him a little nutsack.
Why not? That's it, lovely. Beautiful. And then basically to tidy them up a little bit, not that yours need tidying at all, of course.
Shut up.
You want a little thing, just a little cup or something of water. And you dip your finger in the water and then sort of pop the little, push the top down so that they don't look like little witches' hats. I always think they look like the sorting hats from Harry Potter.
Yeah. I'm just using a bit more of this up on these.
Oh, I love, you're just going rogue now.
Yeah, I have.
Don't care what you say, just going to do it. And then on your eclairs, just kind of touch up the ends. But you can basically use the water to kind of move the choux into more of a ball.
I see.
Because it won't stick if you've got water on your hands.
Ah, I just think I've made some of them a bit scrawny.
That's all right.
Dainty.
Dainty. You don't want dainty balls. You want some good, solid balls.
Yeah.
And then once you've finished and you've touched them up, just sprinkle a little bit of water on the tray, because what you want is the steam in the oven to make them puff up. I mean, they don't in any way look like little dog poos. That's it.
Okay,
Finger the choux. Give the choux a good fingering.
Yep. Oh, fill my little pats of watery love. Don't meet up with your friends in the oven. Isolate yourself. I don't know if I've made them socially distant enough to each other, Briony, I'll be honest. I hate waste so much. I do this with every baking I ever do.
Right, so we've got all our stuff piped out and ready to go. So it's going to go into the oven. I was wrong earlier. It should be, look at those! 200 fan. Not, oh my God, look, you've got actual eclairs. And they're going to go into the oven for about sort of between 15 and 20 minutes, I reckon. So whack them in. Yeah.
They if this is going to go on for months, I think they need to arrange a thing where you're allowed to sort of a formalising the okayness of like a wife swap, husband swap.
Yeah. It can't be noted down on the divorce papers as adultery.
No, it can't. I think it's sort of, enforced polygamy or whatever it's called.
Yeah. I bet all the what they called, all the Mormons right now are like, yeah, you know what, we had it right.
Yeah.
We were doing the right thing.
We knew what we were doing when we had 3 wives. Just mix it up each night.
Perfect.
Right. So, how are your choux balls looking, my love?
I think they're looking all right. Shall I get them out?
Yeah, get them out. I'll get mine out as well. Oh, look at those.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, oh, they look amazing.
Oh.
Wow. They look so good. Is that your first time you've ever made choux?
I feel like a real person.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah, first time.
Amazing. So basically, what you've got to do once you've taken them out, I meant to say, once you put your choux in the oven, don't open the oven until they're finished, because it's all right, you clearly didn't because yours look great. Because what happens is all the steam comes out and then they go
Okay.
fall into floppiness. And also as soon as they come out of the oven, turn them over and then poke a hole in the bottom with a knife.
Yeah.
And kind of tip them onto their side a little bit so that the hole can be open, and then pop them back in your turned off oven for kind of 20 minutes, half an hour.
Okay.
Because that dries them out and then they get all lovely and crispy.
Oh, lovely. You just whipped cream, and then you get one of your 19 piping bags that you've got left, and you just pump that up the hole in the bum.
Yeah, in the bum. Yeah, just make sure you've got a nice hole. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Make sure you've got a nice hole, and pump it, fill it up, and then give it a little dipper and some chocolate ganache. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt.
So fit.
So good. So, oh my gosh, you've just done such a good job.
Thanks, mate. I'm really proud of myself.
You should be. I'm just going to turn this on now because that looks a bit burnt. There we go. So we're going to end on a nice positive note because there's a lot of negativity at the minute. What are you most looking forward to this week?
Oh, what I'm most looking forward to this week.
Or you can tell us a joke. One of the two.
Things I'm looking forward to. So I am going to do a pub quiz with my girlfriend's family, on Zoom, lots of whom I've never met before. And I think that'll be really fun.
Yeah, sounds awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. And
Thanks for
take
having me.
care.
I hope you have a lovely week too.
And thanks, my love. And yeah, I'll see you soon. Mwah.
Yeah.
Bye.